So yeah, of course. Why am I shooting this in black and white? I just like it. It has a different ring to it. And maybe sometimes you're going for a hike, for a walk, and you find something in your path. And most people would go around it because they don't want to climb. Well, climbing makes you strong. And climbing makes you continue. And it trains your balance and all kinds of things. And most people are just too lazy. And you may be one of these people. Which is maybe why you're watching my content, because you think that I'm gonna tell you something that you don't already know. But the fact is, if you would reconnect with your own truth, you would know all these things and you wouldn't have to read anything that I say or hear anything that I say or see anything that I do, because it's already the fact that I'm doing it that probably sets us apart. Like, I see an obstacle, I just, I don't think, I climb over it. And that's how I try to tackle my life, more through feeling. How do I feel about this obstacle? And how am I going to work with it? Instead of seeing it as the problem, no, I start working with it, so I see it as a solution. And that's a completely different mindset. And for example, today was quite a slow start. And quite recently I started to hate this inner voice that I have. Because sometimes it's just saying things to confuse me and it pisses me off. It's like, don't do this! Or, yeah, mostly it's just telling me to not do stuff. And I just say, fuck off, leave me alone. Because I don't know what that voice is. For all I know, it's just me. Right? Because sometimes it's saying things which I can say, okay. And sometimes it's saying things which are just completely stupid. So what are these voices? Because I hear them. Is it just myself? Trying to test myself? Because today, for example, I felt I have no energy and I wanted to eat something. But the thing is, if you don't have energy, then you also probably won't feel like cooking. So, of course I say energy, but it's a synonym for love. So I was lacking self-love. I don't know why. If I picked something up, or if it was just a topic that, suddenly came to the surface inside of me, because tonight I had a dream, and I dreamt about a young woman that I met in South Africa. And in this dream she contacted me. And I had this dream already several times. And I'm trying to think what to make of it. And what I make of it is that I'm just sick of being on my own. And that's maybe just it, that I'm craving for female company. And yeah, so there's actually something that I can give to myself. So I can look at what do I want a woman to give me right now, and then I can try to give that to myself. Only it's quite hard. Because I think of a woman, and I think, how they contribute to your life. And then I realize, it's not that French one that I'm actually looking for. It's maybe just something that I lost when we were separated. And I was kind of different with women when I was with her. And after that kind of broke, I kind of shut herself away from myself. Like, there was a part of me that was never quite the same afterwards. And that was also just because the sex we had was also different. It was so relaxed. I never had that with a woman. And I think it's that kind of young man that I sometimes wish to come back to me. But the thing is, he's always there. But sometimes we have experiences and we shut parts away of ourselves. And then while I was thinking about it, I also realized I don't think it's that French girl that I want. Because she's from the past. And somebody I see in my future is German. Well, and she'll probably know who I'm talking about. And I said once to her, I'm gonna wait for you. And that's, to me, probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I also feel it's getting easier. Because I have said to her also, if it's not you, it's no one. And the thing is, do I want to be like science and completely and always disprove everything that I said? Or am I actually starting to live what I preach in certain areas? So there's also the part where I realize, there are some things which I say and I'm not really that concerned about staying true to it. And that seems to be eating sugar and drinking coffee, because at the moment I also see it kind of helps me. Now, having found a woman where I think, I want her and nobody else, means that if I would go now to another woman, that I would betray that feeling. And that's something which is too important for me to betray. Of course, now you can ask yourself, why am I talking about this? Because it's my feeling that's telling me that. And of course, the reason I know that is because I'm somehow in line with my feeling, with my intuition. And I constantly test it. I constantly test where my feeling is sending me, and my feeling is sending me towards her. So I just keep going. And a couple of times per day, I just imagine us being together. And all I can do is hope that she does the same. Because if she doesn't, then we'll just keep moving away from each other, and we'll never be together. And of course that can happen because of fear, right? And then you start making decisions based on fear, and then you end up with somebody else. And that's then just the consequence that you have to suffer, because there's probably not going to be a way back anymore then. Like, some decisions, once you made them, are going to send you down a completely different path. So, I can only talk about myself, right? And for me, it's true that it's her. That young woman from Cologne. Right, for me, that's just the truth. Now I can live according to my truth, or I can live disregarding my own truth. What your truth is, I don't know. What is true to you? Maybe you want to live like a monk. But the thing is, it's for you to figure that out. And any obstacle that stands in your path, you should learn how to climb it. Because maybe walking around it will take a really long time. And of course, it depends on you also, what kind of person you are. But I believe if you're listening to me, you're probably quite similar to me, and that's why I'm talking to you, because you probably wanted somebody to tell you these things, and here I am, telling you these things, because you kind of attracted me into your life, or I attracted you into my life. But since I don't know who you are, but you seem to know who I am, it's probably more likely that you attracted me into your life. Because suddenly in the world there seems to be a market for genuine spirituality, which is not just the I want to like take LSD and have sex with as many people as I can, but the kind of I want to walk my spiritual path, and I want to like I have a goal. Like having just sex with as many people as you can is not really a goal, it's just running away. So when you have a goal, it's hard, because you have to learn to be self-sufficient. You have to learn to find something inside of you instead of always looking for it from the outside. And the more and more I do this, the more and more I am in a place of love. And that means that the reality that surrounds me is different. Completely different. And now these first 2 videos I did over there, they're also different. Because I kind of wanted to rush it. I wanted to get it over with. And that's also how I ate today. Because I didn't feel that kind of love. At least not all of me. A part of me was full of hate and longing. So I made pancakes with sugar and I ate them. And I hated myself for doing so. But it was the quick solution. So you could say I took the shortcut. But for me, what I wanted to do today is record more videos. And that's maybe stretching my limits a bit. So it's important to look for how you feel always. And is what you're doing right now still kind of healthy or not? And I'm clearly overexerting myself because I've set myself a ridiculous goal. But somehow I seem to define myself with the goals. So I can say in the end, oh, in 2 weeks I recorded 177 videos. And I also find myself, so for example, I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, I wanted to make these videos a bit shorter, but once I start to talk, it's just hard to stop me. But yeah, you can stop at any time. So, I was looking at my statistics. So I was checking my emails, my Telegram account. I was checking my podcast statistics and the views I have on my videos. One with the recent one. And I had the same sensation, the same kind of feeling I have when I'm watching porn. Or I used to watch porn, because since a couple of days I haven't watched it anymore. And I have more energy again. So I need to maintain that. So that's, for example, one of the things, one of the truths that I have to follow if I don't want to keep biting the dust. So what you do when you check the phone and like check your phone always, that's why I have it in flight mode again, in airplane mode. And the reason why I constantly check my emails, it's basically a form of masturbation. You know, I want to feel good because somebody contacted me. I want to feel good because people like what I do. Because today I don't like what I do. Well, in a way I do, or I know afterwards I will, and that's also a valid point. Sometimes you hate it. you hate to do what you love. Because somehow it means at the moment to be alone. And then you hate it. And then you do it anyway. And later on you're happy you did it. And maybe that's like going running, right? But right now I can't really convince myself because I just don't like it here. It's just the fact. I don't like being barefoot on all this concrete. And you know, the amount of these kind of paths that you have here is basically none. Like this here is just a strip of 300 meters. That's it. Then you have all the dogs walking and pissing here and people throwing that dirt. It's not a very nice place to run, like. So I don't really do that. And therefore, I'm just biding my time. And I had the same thing. Now, I'm wishing for kind of an action cam that I can have like a telescope stick and that I can go for walks and film myself like this. And then of course you have to work with what you have. And I don't have that right now. I could use my phone, but I don't like that. Because I want also... I don't like it. It's just like that. I don't like it. And maybe it's because I think people don't like it. But I just know I don't like it. I don't like the way I hold it. I don't like the kind of quality. So what I want is to really have something proper. But I don't have that. So I can feel miserable about it and stop recording videos and wait maybe till one day somebody will like my videos and maybe then more people will buy my books and then suddenly I have more money and then I can buy. But then I don't produce anything until then. And while I do, I feel miserable. So what do I have? I have this camera, which makes good quality videos. So I can just use that and just do it anyway in the way that I want to. And I mean, that's all there is to it. Right? You do it or you don't do it. But if you don't do it, then don't complain. Then it's your own fault. Because if you stop working, then eventually you have to take another job. If you want to be creative, you have to keep working. It doesn't matter what that is. So maybe you're an author, and right now you don't write anything. Then write a book about how you hate writing right now. Like just write a book about that. And maybe you're doing YouTube, and right now you're hating doing YouTube videos. Then talk about that in your YouTube videos, but make it somehow suspenseful for other people to watch it. So you can still talk about it, because as soon as you start being honest to yourself, you realize you open up to yourself more. And that's what I usually have. That's why these first two videos, I was like, I don't like this. And then suddenly I make a third one and I think, it's kind of nice. And then I sit down and I start talking and sharing. And suddenly I realize, it's actually not too bad. And what usually helps is when I say, you know what, right now I fucking hate doing these videos. And suddenly I'm already smiling because I'm honest. The worst thing you can do is act like you like it. And people will feel it through the entire video. Because you hate it, but you don't say that. And that's why it's important sometimes to just talk to yourself. And just also allow yourself to hate things. Just say it openly. I fucking hate this right now. Instead of always saying, it's so nice, yeah, and then smiling. No, that doesn't work. You have to allow yourself to hate. But if you're afraid of hating, then it has you by the balls. Because you're gonna feel bad that you hate the world, but right now that's how you feel. You fucking hate everything. Then just at least be honest about it and say it. I hate everything. And you say that and maybe shout at a tree or something. I don't know. I don't know if this tree really deserves being shouted at. But to just get it out of your system, go for a walk and start talking to yourself. Like you're your own therapist, because you have your observer. Whatever you say, you know, angels hear it, nature hears it, somebody hears it, doesn't matter. It's about you saying it. Because that's the truth. Right now, you hate the world. And then allow yourself to say that. Because then you also hear it yourself, and you can maybe work out why you hate right now. And then you can love again. That's usually how I do it. Because otherwise, I keep these emotions inside of me, and I walk around and I hate everybody. I project my hatred onto every person, instead of just once sitting down with myself and just letting it all out. And whether that's in a recording, or you put it on paper just for yourself, or you write a letter, it doesn't matter. As long as you find a way to get it out and be conscious about it. And that's why at the moment I don't really like running. Because yes, I could run my frustration away. But then I don't know what it was about, so I have to, you know, for me it's easier right now to find ways to express myself without running, so that I can learn to be a bit more relaxed about everything, instead of always feeling like, oh shit, I have to go for a run, or, you know, I have to train. And I always did that like this. You know, I waited for 5 days, 7 days, until I feel so shit that I had to do something. That's usually how I did it. Instead of just saying once beforehand, today I feel like shit. You just say that aloud and suddenly like, whoa, I feel like shit. Holy moly, that's amazing.